Hey y'all, it is September the 3rd, 2019, and you already know that I'd like to thank you for joining me and that I appreciate you. Holler at me in the comments. I especially want you to holler at me in the comments if this is one of your favorite things. Of course, this is a screenshot rundown, and I want to know out there who out there is digging these screenshot rundowns. All right, either way, I'm gonna do them because actually they're kind of my favorite thing to do. All right, but I also want to know if some of y'all out there like them. And anyways, and holler at me in the comments. Let me know what I missed and stuff. We're gonna go through some screenshots of all sort of news. Of course, it's all sort of news that we're gonna miss. All right, maybe important news, very important. So let me know down in the comments, and we're just gonna run through them. We don't even have that much time, y'all. All right, I'm gonna start off with this. This was a little while back. I took a screenshot and said one day ago, but I think it's over a week ago that I saw this. March for Our Lives releases sweeping gun control plan. Who would have thought that happened at all, right? Yeah, who would have thought they would have a sweeping gun control plan? We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the screenshot rundown. In fact, we're going to talk about it right now, actually. We're looking at this screenshot right here. It's something else that I noticed. Like I said, it's probably a week old. Andrew Pollock, Parkland father, daughter's murder made me pro Second Amendment. Now, in the whole scheme of things, we already know we dived down the rabbit hole a long time ago. Everybody knows all sort of different things that do not add up as far as Parkland goes. Not even close. All right. The thing is, you can think about all sort of things. I know a lot of people, for example, think none of it's real, 100% a hoax. Nothing happened. Nobody got injured. And you might say, oh, that's preposterous. Oh, I don't know about that. The thing is, I don't think that that's what happened, right? But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And in fact, it's not a far throw to say, oh yeah, probably it was 100% hoaxed. Certainly all sort of things were hoaxed, and it's tomfoolery surrounding Parkland. That's for sure. All right. That's for certain. So to say it's 100% hoax, I don't know. It could be. I don't think it is. All right. But some people think it is. Regardless of the whole thing, regardless of what it is you think about, when it comes to Parkland, whether it happened, how much of it happened, how many shooters there actually were, how much tomfoolery actually went down. All those people, to include Andrew Pollock, I got to give them a shout out right now, all right? Because I know I've called Andrew Pollock scum on the internet, all right? The thing is, I love everybody, and I want to stress that. I love Andrew Pollock just like I love everybody else on the earth, all right? A lot of people do very bad things, need justice on them, and I'm talking about swift legal justice through our legal system and things of this nature, all right? So I do want to also just make a shout out because I have said bad things, but I love Andrew Pollock, all right? And I might say more bad things in reference to Andrew Pollock as time goes on. Lord knows it's going to be national news when it comes to Andrew Pollock and anybody that was involved or affected by Parkland, all right? From here on out, forever and ever. There's always going to be news stories. That being said, whoever is still pro Second Amendment, I appreciate you because here's the thing. That is a growing sentiment. All right, we're about to look at some more screenshots in regards to this, but we're about to look at the growing trend of what seems to be these mass shootings, and they all happen in a certain kind of way. All right, and we're going to discuss that. Thing is, a lot of people are seeing this trend of the mass shootings, right? Seeing them on the news and stuff like that. Maybe they don't happen so often. Maybe it's not a very popular thing that happens a lot, but it does get showcased on the news. It makes people very afraid. All right, here's the thing. It's impossible. I've already explained it. A lot of people have. Impossible to take all the guns and remove them, like this sweeping gun ban that they wanted to do. They wrote up a plan for it. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. In America, it just can't happen. It's impossible. It's physically impossible. So some people are actually getting scared and they're thinking, well, maybe we should just hold guns because these people might shoot us up. These crazy people, to get a hold of guns, we can't keep them all out of their hands. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, probably as far as the screenshots go. This was one of my favorite. In fact, this one right here is probably my favorite, y'all. A Florida teacher, I don't know. I didn't even read the article because it is CNN.com. That's why I didn't read it. But the thing is, it is kind of interesting. A Florida teacher told students if he were a school shooter, he'd have 1,000-person body count. And I would love to hear the rest of that lecture. It must have been totally priceless. We're going to skip out of this one. The media should stop encouraging mass shooting phobias. Now, I found this one pretty interesting too. And that I'm not sure what the heck they mean by this. What do they mean? What does National Review mean? Because I don't really read National Review very much, and I don't know what kind of slant that they put on things, but the media should stop encouraging mass shooting phobias. I'm not sure what that means, all right? If you have a fear against mass shootings, I think that's perfectly rational and reasonable to not want to get mass shot up. If you think that mass shootings are happening around every corner and that's your fear, that does seem kind of delusional. So I don't know what they mean. I don't know if they mean that the mass media is conjuring up all sort of publicity on the mass shootings, which was what we discussed earlier. I don't know if they mean that the media is hyping up all the mass shootings. All right. And maybe they should stop it. Maybe they should stop it with their dang fear porn. I don't know what they mean, but that does kind of make sense. I'm not sure what they mean. Escalation in the U.S.-China trade war threatens global economy, poses Trump re-election risk. Now, it's all very interesting. We do know that there's speculation of this and that happening with the economy concerning the United States, concerning China, concerning everybody's connected with that, which would be everybody in the world, all right? Global economies. Now, here's the thing about it. That might really affect Trump in this upcoming election. I do got to reiterate, I mean, obviously, that kind of does make sense. The idea of the economy going up and down and people being afraid or confident in regards to the economy. Here's the thing. Trump's not running against anybody, all right? If that's not painfully obvious, and there's some people who really are just blind as who knows what. But the thing is, Trump is not running against anybody. And I just want to point that out. I live in Texas, America, whatever you might call it. And the thing is, Trump is not running against anybody, period. And certainly there's all sort of people who don't know that. But for the most part, everybody knows that. Trump is not running against anybody. All right. So, yeah, he might have pitfalls and this and that. He might be suffering from a bad economy by the time election comes around. We'll just have to find out about that. But Trump is also not running against anybody. I can't reiterate that enough. FBI, West Texas gunman was on a long spiral of going down. Now, this is from the AP, guys. I don't know if it just goes for America or every English-speaking country on the world, but I do want to ask, because I know a lot of people from different countries was on a long spiral of going down. Have you ever heard that phrase in your dang life? All right, because here's the thing: from being from Texas and America, it's called a downward spiral. All right. And I hate to be nitpicky about it. And I know some people can be, but it's called a downward spiral. You just sound stupid. And that's what got my attention for this particular headline. It said West Texas gunman was on a long spiral of going down. It's called a downward spiral. Here's the thing. That's a quote. And I had to go ahead and read some into the article. It's a poorly written article, but let's just go ahead and read some of it right now. The gunman in West Texas rampage was on, like I said, a long spiral of going down, which let me know if you've ever heard anybody say that in your whole life, all right? On a long spiral of going down, and had been fired from his oil services job the morning that he killed 7 people. I vaguely heard about this because I did not have my phone for the past week or so. So I kind of heard about it, but I'm just familiarizing myself with it kind of right now, all right? So he called 911 before and after the shooting began, and that's kind of interesting, right? So I'm just gathering this. I don't know if y'all known this for a few days. Now, this took place in West Texas, and it was in and around Odessa, and I'm not sure if it went to Midland or what exactly happened. I'm still trying to figure it out. But actually, I spent a few years just recently in that very area. It's a small town called Big Spring, Texas, not very far from where this all went down. And I found it kind of interesting. Officers killed 36-year-old Seth Aaron Attor. They killed 36-year-old Seth Aaron Attor. And here's the thing. it was mentioned earlier, as far as the media doing certain things, hyping up the mass killings the way that they do. They do. They completely do. This article is doing exactly that. Now, don't you find it weird, and hasn't everybody brought it up, that whenever there's like a big time killer or whatever, they put the middle name as well as the first and last name? They always put the middle name. And what's interesting is that does not apply to like every person in the news. It only applies to the mass killers. It's almost some weird rhythm that they're trying to install into their news items in which they hype up these mass shootings and make more of them happen. And we're going to discuss proof right here in a second of how they make more of them happen and they're completely responsible for it. And it's like almost undeniable at this point. And they pretty much go formulaically how they do it. All right. So you're going to get the first, middle, and last name of all these people. So going to get hyped up. You're going to see all the pictures and they're going to explain to you how they want you to carry out the killings. All right. So we're going to discuss after the killing of Seth Aaron Ator on Saturday outside busy Odessa movie theater. After a spat of violence that spanned 10 miles, injuring around 24 people in addition to the dead people, which I believe was 7. FBI Special Agent Christopher Combs said Ator called the agency's tip line as well as local police dispatch on Saturday after being fired from Journey Oilfield Services. Blah, blah, blah. He was on a long spiral down. Here's what I wanted to mention in particular, that was Ator pointed an AR style, if you can read down here, the AR style rifle towards the rear, the rear window of the car and fired at the trooper. And notice there's always an AR-15 style rifle. You understand the formulaicness of all of this. The media hypes up these certain kind of shootings with these certain kind of rifles. Oh, it just so happened he has another one of these certain kind of rifles. Now, you gotta understand, with the sweeping gun bans that we discussed earlier, and this isn't even news to most people who come to this channel, but for anybody out there who's kind of confused, all right, the media hypes out the certain kind of shootings with, if for example, the AR-15. Now, people like the March for Our Lives and stuff, they want to ban all guns and it's sweeping, and they kind of lie to you about it from here and there, but they want to ban all your guns, and it's sweeping. They have sweeping gun legislation involved, all right? But notice the media hypes up these certain shootings only with the AR-15s. It's always an AR-15 or an AR-15 style rifle, right? Meanwhile, those particular shootings actually do increase. Meanwhile, mass shootings are pretty much, they're not on an increase nationwide. Now, however, in urban areas where people are shooting people to bits all over the place, like Chicago, Detroit, do we even have to go over it? You know what I'm saying? Cleveland, San Antonio for that matter. People are shooting themselves up in very urban ghetto areas. That's not being discussed. But typically that's with handguns, right? So most of the mass killings you're talking about with guns actually are from handguns, not from AR-15s, right? That's kind of unusual. All right, just so you know, there's proof positive right there. This is what's happening. This is what they're manufacturing, and they don't want us to talk about it. They call us fake. They say we should get banned off the internet and stuff like that, all right? So enough of that. I wanted to discuss Popeyes. Customers pulls a gun. Y'all, I don't know if y'all are hearing about this a lot too, but I thought I would bring this up. I don't know if we have that much more time left, all right, so we might finish this up, but I did want to check out Popeyes. Man pulls a gun after being told ain't no more chicken sandwiches, all right? Who didn't see that coming? And we might even just end on this, actually, y'all. This is kind of a good place to end for all the youngsters out there. Know that the last thing that you even want to be on earth is a celebrity, all right? It is a twisted and cruel fate, all right? And here's a proof on top of a mountain of proof, all right? If you didn't have enough proof, Bieber now talks about the pitfalls of fame, and of course it included very hard drugs and women and stuff like that. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed because they're suffering from severe depression, all right? That might sound weird to you. It sounds very weird to me, right? The last thing you'd ever want to be is a celebrity, you know what I'm saying? Especially not on your own terms, all right? Kind of like a Justin Bieber, and that sounds terrible. I feel for the guy and stuff, and I hope nothing but the best for Justin Bieber. and everybody out there and stuff, man. But, I got to get ready for work in a little bit. So I appreciate y'all. Holler me about what's real good up in the comments. And, I'll be sure to talk about it the next time. And I appreciate y'all. Anyways, it's September the 3rd, 2019. And I'll holla.